the General Dental Council, we work to protect dental patients and maintain public confidence in dental professionals. One of the ways we do this is by investigating the serious concerns that have been raised with us about dental professionals. Some of these concerns conclude in a case being presented to an independent committee hearing, whose job it is to listen to the evidence before it and ultimately decide what, if any, sanction is appropriate to apply in the circumstances. This film explores our hearings process in more detail.
Prior to a concern reaching a hearing, there are 3 stages the investigation must pass through, all of which may result in the assessment or investigation being closed. At the first stage, the initial assessment team assess the concern or concerns to determine if we are the right organisation to look into the issue. The second stage is assessment. Here, a caseworker considers the concern to see whether the case should proceed. We notify the dental professional involved and any other relevant parties and seek any further relevant information. If there is insufficient evidence to suggest a potential fitness to practice issue, the case is closed. However, sufficient evidence of a potential impairment at this stage will lead to allegations being made and a referral to our case examiners. At stage 3, the allegations are shared with the dental professional and the person who raised the concern, and both parties are asked to provide any observations on the allegations and evidence. These observations are included with the papers to be considered by case examiners. Case examiners then consider the evidence and observations and decide whether the case can be concluded without the need to progress to a hearing, for example, issuing advice or agreeing undertakings.
Cases are heard in public, but they can be heard partly or entirely in private if there are good reasons to do so, such as protection of family life or because the hearing will contain sensitive personal information.
The group of people who sit in hearings are known as the Fitness to Practice panel. They are a mix of independent lay people and dental professionals recruited to fulfil this role. There are 3 categories of substantive hearings: conduct, performance and health, which consider the question of whether or not a dental professional's fitness to practice is impaired.
The Professional Conduct Committee considers cases based on whether there has been any misconduct. The Professional Performance Committee looks at whether the dental professional's performance is deficient in some way, and the Health Committee looks at whether performance might be deficient on the grounds of physical or mental health. Each committee may consider a combination of allegation types. Every hearing has a committee of 3 independent panellists, appointed from the Fitness to Practice panel, who hear the case evidence. One of the panellists takes the role of the chair of the committee. Each committee consists of dentists, dental care professionals, and lay people. Each committee also has a committee secretary, who is responsible for making sure that the business of the hearing is conducted appropriately. There is also a legal advisor, who is either a solicitor or a barrister, who provides procedural legal advice to ensure the hearing is conducted appropriately. The committee secretary and legal advisor play no role in decision-making. Lawyers for the GDC and the dental professional, where they are represented, are there to present each side of the case and to question witnesses. If not legally represented, dental professionals can ask questions of witnesses. You can find out more about the roles of those at hearings in the film Who Will Be Present at a Public Hearing. The role of Fitness to Practice panellists is to listen to the allegations and the defence for each case. They ask questions of those who present cases and any witnesses to draw out and clarify the matters under consideration. After hearing the cases of each party, panellists go into private. This is called the in-camera discussion, where panellists deliberate. There are a lot of points panellists need to consider and discuss before coming to a decision, such as whether the evidence presented allows them to find the allegations proven. They also consider remedial actions, the likelihood of repetition, and look at any mitigating and/or aggravating factors. The 3 panellists or committee then need to decide if the professional's fitness to practice is impaired.
If the committee finds that a dental professional has been or is currently impaired, there are 4 sanctions which can be applied. When deciding upon the correct sanction, the committee applies the principle of proportionality balancing the professional's own interests with the public interest, starting with the least serious and ascending until the appropriate level of sanction has been identified. The potential outcomes are: it can issue a reprimand to make a statement of its disapproval. In these cases, the dental professional can continue to practice dentistry without any restrictions on practicing, but the reprimand remains on their registration record for 12 months. It can impose conditions. These are applied to the dental professional's work for a set period of time. Conditions may include the requirement to undertake further training, to work under supervision, and to obtain evidence to indicate how they have improved their practice. Suspension. This is where registration is suspended, meaning that the dental professional cannot work for a set period of time. And erasure. This is the most serious course of action, which is being struck off the register, and it means they can no longer work as a dental professional. Dental professionals have the right of appeal against any sanction that affects their ability to practice dentistry. It is also important for people to know that a committee cannot award compensation at the end of a hearing to those who raise concerns. Dental professionals are people who are competent and conscientious, and the public can have every confidence in them. But occasionally, there are instances when a professional's behaviour or health may give rise for concern. When that happens, the GDC will investigate.
If you have any questions about the fitness to practice hearings or would be interested in viewing or attending one, please complete the form on the Contact Us page on our website www.gdc-uk.org/contact-us.